What's up, everyone? Welcome to this bonus episode of the Flame Entertainment and Sports. It's your boy Rob here. Hope everyone's doing good out there. On this episode, first off, there's a lot of trades that have been going down so far in the NBA. During the finals, we had a couple. Now, after the finals, there's been a couple that have happened. I have yet to cover that, but I am recording this on Wednesday, June 25th. It's 12:53 p.m. Eastern time right now. And with that said, all my trade reactions will be coming at a later date. So I wanted to just throw out a bonus episode for you all today and talk about a guy who I believe is a very under the radar trade target, or should be an under the radar trade target for many teams, and that is Corey Kispert of the Washington Wizards. He's someone who I've been able to watch during his first couple of seasons in the NBA. He's been a really good shooter. That's his best thing. He provides a lot of spacing on the offensive side of the ball. He helps spread out the offense and lead to more open opportunities for his fellow teammates in Washington. With that said, he does have a contract extension that kicks in the 2026 season. So therefore, I feel like I wouldn't be shocked if Washington would be willing to part ways with him, as they're nowhere close to competing for a championship at this moment. So with that said, I have three teams specifically in mind that I think I could see Kispert, fitting into, and three teams who I think should target Corey Kispert. Another reason I wanted to bring up Kispert is that, since he is under the radar, no one's really talking about him in trades, in terms of like trade discussions or rumors or anything like that. I feel like you could get Kispert for some sort of discount in comparison to these other guys who are reported to be getting traded. And that makes sense. Like, you see like Desmond Bane go for four first round picks. You saw Kevin Durant go for 1 first round pick and 5 second round picks. I feel a guy like Kispert specifically, you can really get a under the radar type of deal for him. You won't have to like give up all your prospects, all your draft capital for Corey Kispert. So with that said, now I want to get into the three teams I have in mind. I have the San Antonio Spurs, the Brooklyn Nets, and the Miami Heat. I'll start off with the Spurs. So, of course, the Spurs, they've been in the headlines for a while now, this whole offseason, starting all the way back in the draft lottery when they're able to land the second pick and the 14th pick, in tonight's draft as I record this on Wednesday afternoon. And with that said, there's a lot of talk that the Spurs were in on Giannis for a while. A lot of people were calling them the favorites. And ultimately, a couple of days ago, Brian Windhorst reported that it doesn't seem that Giannis wants to get traded from Milwaukee. And then on Sunday, right before Game 7 of the finals, we saw Kevin Durant get traded to Houston, and that was another name that was heavily connected with the San Antonio Spurs. So with that said, with KD and Giannis off the board, I feel like getting a guy like Corey Kispert could really be a smart idea for San Antonio. First off, to talk about his fit, I feel like he'll be a great fit in San Antonio. To go back to his off-ball shooting and movement, he's able to create a lot of spacing on the offense side of the ball. And when you think of the elite playmakers and passers that the Spurs have, including Victor Wembanyama, Stephon Castle, the reigning Rookie of the Year, De'Aaron Fox, who they got in the trade, last season. And I just feel like with those three guys who are such elite pass makers and, offensive playmakers, I feel like with them having the ball in their hands for the majority of the time, it'll allow Kispert to get free. Perhaps, the Spurs could do a lot of plays where they set picks for Kispert, kind of be a catch and shoot type of guy. And I feel like he'll thrive even more in San Antonio than he has in Washington, because it's a better fit overall, and he has more playmakers around him in San Antonio. And as for San Antonio overall, I just feel like, this will be a hell of a move to make. It'll be super under the radar, and they won't have to worry about giving up so many of their young prospects or draft capital for Kispert. With that said, as I said, I am recording this right now early Wednesday. It's 12:57 p.m. Eastern time right now. The first round of the draft is tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern time, and the Spurs have the number 2 pick, which they're expected to keep and most likely draft Dylan Harper, the guard out of Rutgers, and then they also have the 14th pick, like I mentioned earlier. And I could see a scenario, because there's a lot of reports that Washington is trying to move up. They're currently picking at number 6. But it looks like they're trying to target someone within the top 5. So perhaps if they're able to pull off a trade like this, trade Kispert to San Antonio and perhaps get the 14th pick, maybe they're able to entice a team like Philadelphia at number 3, offering the number 6 and number 14th pick to Philly in exchange for the number 3 pick, and perhaps go up and draft their guy. A lot of reports are signaling that they're interested in Ace Bailey. Now to move on to the next team I have in mind for Corey Kispert, the Brooklyn Nets. So Brooklyn right now, first off, congratulations to Sean Marks in that front office. I think they're doing a hell of a job right now. First off, they have the most cap space in the league. Secondly, they came into tonight's draft with 4 first-round picks, and on Tuesday, they actually were part of a 3-team trade along with Boston and the Atlanta Hawks, which sent Kristaps Porzingis to Atlanta, and Brooklyn acquired Terrence Mann in the trade from Atlanta. But Brooklyn also acquired the number 22nd pick in the draft. So now they have 5 first round picks in tonight's draft, and I'm not expecting them to pick 5 different guys in the draft tonight. I'm not even expecting them to pick 4. The max I could see them picking is maybe 3. But that's yeah, since they do have the most cap space and the most draft capital this year in the draft, I feel like trying to get a guy like Kispert, I think will be a great idea because they have honestly nothing to lose and have everything to gain. Perhaps a bigger role and more of a focal point role for Kispert on the team could lead him to doing better things going forward. And Brooklyn, really, they're in search of a pure shooter slash scorer type like Kispert. And Kispert also, for his how young he is and his short career so far, I feel like he's an underrated leader. And perhaps he's ready to fill into that role of being one of the main guys on a competitive team. So yeah, I could definitely see Brooklyn, trading one of their picks to Washington. Like I said before, Washington is reportedly looking to move up in the draft. So I'm sure Washington's on the phones right now trying to get either 1 or 2 more picks in order to try to move up and entice Philly to trade out of that number 3 pick. Now to move on to the third team, the Miami Heat, my Miami Heat. So the Heat, we have a history of really getting under the radar type of guys. Most of the time it's been with like undrafted guys, or you even think of that little time period where we brought in like James Johnson, Dion Waiters, those type of guys. James Johnson, been really like a career-long bench warmer in Toronto, and he comes here to Miami. He ends up being our primary ball handler in the fourth quarter and the end of like close games. So I feel like, the Heat, they're a team to watch out because they can land Kispert, and we've seen the type of deals that the Heat have been able to pull off over the years. I feel like they could get Kispert for a bargain. I feel like Washington won't be asking for too much, and perhaps even just giving Washington the 20th pick in the draft tonight will be enough to get Kispert here in Miami. And now to talk about the fit in terms of why I think Miami should get Kispert, I think him and Tyler Hero would absolutely thrive off of one another. Instead of just having one elite shooter, you'll have 2 elite shooters. You'll create more spacing. You'll create more open looks for Hero. When you think of this past season, if it wasn't for Tyler Hero, the Heat offense is arguably the worst offense in all of basketball. So I feel like adding a guy like Kispert too will take off a lot of pressure off of the shoulders of Hero, and less of the defensive focus will be on Hero because now you have another elite, shot taker to worry about on the offense side of the ball for Miami. And yeah, guys, just gonna wrap up this bonus episode. I just wanted to make sure to put it out there because there's been no talks with Corey Kispert getting traded. No one's really speculated anything about him. But he's just someone that, you get those gut feelings. Sometimes I've been getting a gut feeling the last couple of days that Kispert is going to end up getting traded somewhere. He's going to be under the radar. And I think he's going to really help elevate his next team. So yeah, with that said, if you guys have any thoughts on Corey Kispert or any other under the radar targets that you guys have in mind, make sure to send them our way on social media. Hit us up on Instagram and TikTok at @theflame_ES. Make sure to follow us on there as well. Keep up with us here on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube, The Flame Entertainment and Sports, for more NBA content coming your way. Like I said, I'm recording this Wednesday afternoon. We have the draft tonight. We have multiple trades that have gone down. So trust me, we're going to get it all talked about here on the podcast. Either Thursday or Friday, we will be releasing an episode where we react to some of the trades that have gone down already. We react to some draft news that, that happens tonight in the first round. So yeah, guys, make sure, once again, keep it locked in here. And with all that said, till next time, everyone, take care.